Hey everybody, welcome to the OSG Garage. I'm the old slow guy Keith, and today we're going to take this and fix this. So I know I've had this dent on my KDX 200 pipe for a long time, but the other day I was riding at Metcalf, and after looking at it, I'm actually got a little crack right there. You can kind of see all of the oil kind of dripping out of it. So today we're going to go ahead and make a fixture to plug both of these ends with air, put a fitting on one side, put about 100 psi into it, and then we're going to heat this up and try and pop this out after we kind of clean it up and weld up the crack. I've seen this done on YouTube a bunch of times, and I know they make kits for it, but I'm going to kind of take you through the kit that I started to make and show you my take on it and see if we can't get this to work, okay? So I kind of started on this project the other day, and the idea is to make little clamps and things that work on existing pieces like this, then put some 1/4-inch threaded rod and thread a cap back down on the end like this. Now these two pieces here I kind of started on the other day. I took my hole saw here into a flat piece and basically drilled that hole in the center of it. Then I split it in half with a cutoff wheel right through there. Made a couple little pieces on the end so I could clamp it around. Kind of lined it up with a 1-inch piece of material there. Drilled a hole, and now is to take some nuts and washers. I've got some threaded rod here, and we'll kind of use this to go on one side. I'm going to mock this up first, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this threaded rod off and make a piece for the top side. Make sure I got the right sides here kind of lined up. It looks like I do. I used some 1/4-inch dowel pins to originally mock this up, and it worked pretty good. But you got to kind of get in the right sweet spot there. Let's get some washers. I got some fender washers here that should work pretty good. Back side of that. What we'll do is we'll make a clamp on the other side. Something that's got the same kind of holes here and here. Put it down with a little rubber gasket here. But this is how this piece kind of fits on here. I'm using little nuts on both sides. Kind of draw it in. Fender washer on there, because most of the stress is going to be through the fender washer when this thing pulls to be tight. We're really just holding the kind of the clamp down together. So now this will pull here. We'll put another piece here, cut the threaded rod off, and pull it tight. Alright, I'm going to mark up this threaded rod to be cut it off, and I'm going to drill a piece for the top. I think probably right about there. Right about there. So the end of this is about a little over an inch and almost an inch and a quarter. So we want something about 1.5 inches, I think, to clamp down on there. So let's go look in the stock rack and see what we got, okay? So do I have anything about 1/8 of an inch or so? Oh, here. 2 inches. That'll work. I got to get it between these two holes, like here and here, and then this area here is going to be for the clamp. So I'm going to kind of eyeball this here. Center this and this way, and we'll cut it off about that long with the cutoff wheel. And then we can take these two holes, kind of transfer them in here, and we'll make them a little bit clearanced in the drill press for the threaded rod to go through. let's see how good of a job we did fitting this whole thing up here, okay? So, we've got our two pieces here. Clamped around this away. Put our 1/4-20 threaded rod in here. It seems like it wants to be moved up a little bit, doesn't it? There we go. Nut. On the back side. Hopefully I left myself enough extra here. No. Nice. All right. Let's see, can we get this thing? Oh, look at that. Perfect. All we need is some rubber. So in the spirit of never really throwing anything out, I've got an old inner tube here from one of the Vespas, and we'll cut a hunk of this off and use this as our gasket material. Put this inside out. Put this between here and here. Kind of put that there and there. Another fender washer. Fender washer. Another nut. And then we'll see if that'll seal. Okay, for the other side, I'm gonna tell you I kind of cheated a little bit. I machined this little piece of aluminum up at work. It's just a base, little bit of whatever aluminum I found. I couldn't even tell you if it's 6000 or 7000 series, whatever it is, but it was metal. And I basically made it to fit around this O-rings here. I measured this up at 1 inch 800, and I made the bore here 1 inch 805, about 1/2 inch deep, and I got a hole through the middle so I can tap and put everything in there. Now, I've not tested this on this thing yet. Let's see if I can at least get this thing to fit on there. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on here so I don't destroy these O-rings. Let's fit. Look at that. So that seems to work pretty well. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to drill and I never tapped the hole for the 1/4 inch NPT. I've got a tap I'm going to do that on, and then we'll come back and we'll put it all together and test it. So you're going to have to excuse me here because I do not have a tap wrench that's right. It's a 1/4 inch. So because I'm slightly dyslexic, I used a 5/16 instead of a 7/16 drill when I did this in the lathe earlier today at work. And of course that means this is the wrong size. Chuck key. Here it is. That's a great measure once, drill 17 times. That's a drill chuck, boys and girls. Cheap Delta drill press. I think there's a new drill press in my future. What do you think? Now we can put the pipe tap in without a pipe wrench, because again, don't try this at home, folks. I don't know what I'm doing. I forgot this was a pipe tap and I kind of probably just shove it down there a little bit too deep, but that's okay. Alright, so let's see how we're going to put this thing together. We are going to get some pipe tape, and I'll kind of give you my process for how I'm going to kind of put this thing together. So we're going to have this piece going in here, like that. I should have a T-yar, like this. And I guess I could use just a regular nipple on that, but we'll just use that for now. We're going to have... This is the nipple. on this ball valve, and usually this has an arrow on it, but I guess it really doesn't matter on this one. Put that on there, this on this. Now the one thing with these things, sometimes you got to make sure that when you put this on you can still swing the valve. So I'm actually going to flip this around because I want to be able to swing that, so I'm going to put it this way instead, like this. Okay, you got a gauge. Dropping it all the way down on that one. Alright, so this is going to be like this. This will go in here. Sure it will. Like that. And then, lastly, but not least, one of these. Like this. So the idea is I set my air compressor when I pop this on, close it off and pop the air off, and then I can see if this is leaking down or not to see if I have a leak. And that'll give me an idea of how much air is on the inside of this. Okay? Alright, so we're going to pop this on like thusly. Just see how much actually. Woohoo! Well, that's 30 psi. We got to get it on there pretty freaking good. So let's see if we can use it. Oh, this bad girl on. Alright, so after just slightly pressurizing this thing and having it kind of almost blow up in my face, slight change of plans here. We are going to get a clamp on here. I think this will work pretty good. I got this old beat up cant twist that kind of wraps around here, and if I can get this the right way, I can kind of use it like I did on the front, but not have to go through all that welding. Let's see if I can get this to work. I'm gonna try and get it 180 degrees from each other, though. It's going to be tough. It's just going to be a little tough. Let's see. All right. Safety first. That's my leak on the other side. Right in there, boys and girls. Seems to be right on that seam. Someone already had been grinding around in there, obviously. That clamp works pretty good. As you can see, it's just basically a way to cap off the end. This seems to be working pretty good on this end too, using the makeshift 2-inch beat up can't twist clamp and a couple other clamps along with my puck that I made there. So I think what I'm going to do is take pressure out of the system. I'm going to weld that up, and then we'll commence to figuring out if we can get this thing to pop out yet tonight. Oh yeah. So, pretty thin. So the reason that thing is so got a hole in it is it's basically rusted on the inside. So we're gonna have to try and build that all back up with weld. Good luck, huh? Well, boys and girls, that is ugly, but I think I filled in the hole. We'll pressurize this thing back up and see if we fix the leaks. I'm staying away from the axis of stuff here because I don't want this thing flying apart on me. Go to about 90, right there.
I see the scary red happening right there.
Thing popped out on us a little bit. Used to be all the way out to here, and now, I mean, it's not perfect. My weld is a piece of crap. I'll have to clean that up. Maybe I'll grind it a little bit, make it back into a ridge, maybe fill some in. We'll see. But I want to run around here, say that everything is holding pressure pretty good, and so far nothing is blowed up either, which is really important. I was kind of worried about that. So let's depressurize it. And all of my pieces seem to be holding on there pretty well. So I had heard about the myth. I had seen it on YouTube many times. I know that there's kits for this stuff. And in certain places you can either buy a couple $100 piece of equipment for it. But I made this out of angle iron and old inner tubes and some aluminum from work and some clamps and some miscellaneous hardware store pieces. And you know what, boys and girls? It did work. It looks pretty good. So I think that's it for us. I'm going to say this is a big old win. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit us up on Instagram, OSG Garage. I am the Old Soul Guy, Keith, and I'm going to say goodbye till next time. See you later. Bye-bye.